Hey guys, welcome back to another AFL fantasy video. Round 2 is all over, and in today's video I'll be going through my team, seeing how it went this week, looking into some trade discussion ahead of round 3, and there'll be quite a large Q&A section at the end of this video, answering all of your questions on Twitter. Alright, let's get into my team now. And as you can see, there's this cool feature in AFL Fantasy on the website now. You can actually go through each round and see how your team went. So let's go to round 2. And as you can see, I scored 2,169. I was a little bit disappointed. A lot of my premiums didn't really fire. I'll get into that anyway. Anyway, round 2 ranking of 16,699, which pushes me out to an overall ranking of 6,832. Going into the back line, I was really pleased with my back line this week. Jake Lloyd, 127. I think he's definitely going to be that number 1 defender, closely followed by Lockie Whitfield. I'm really liking his prospects. I think both of those two will be in the top 2 defenders. Brodie Smith and Zach Williams, 91 and 89 respectively. Really pleased with their roles in their teams, and that's all you could really ask for from those two. So they're going to be really great stepping stones to primos, or even Brodie Smith, I'm thinking maybe could possibly even be a keeper if he's going to average around 90. Then you've got the 3 rookies there, Clark, Dersmer and Scrimshaw. I mean, what more could you ask for from those 3? 70 plus is just really great. Dersmer is going above and beyond. He's going to be a really good cash cow. But I'm confident in fielding all 3 of them for a few more weeks. Burgess, 60. We'll take that 60. It keeps his price ticking over. Marty Hoare didn't play. Hopefully he gets a game this week, but I'll talk about that later. Getting into the midfield now. Cornelio. Oh, he had a 50. Look, I was quite disappointed with it, but Hutchings is just a really quality tagger, and whoever comes up against Hutchings is going to be really hurting. So this week Hutchings has Adam Treloar. Well, sorry, he has West Coast have Collingwood, and I'm suspecting Hutchings to go to Treloar. If he doesn't, then Treloar's going to score well again. But the way Treloar's been playing, he's very damaging, and I think Hutchings will probably go to him. As you can see, Treloar's been averaging 138. So lots of the teams last week who had Treloar and didn't have Cornelio, they were behind the competition. But this week, the teams that have Treloar, they scored 102 points more than teams that had Cornelio there. So it's a big difference. Anyway, Matty Crouch, he was a little bit disappointing as well. I'll take that 100 for what he scored. I think a 70 points second half. Like, he was on 65 halfway through the third quarter. So for him to get to 100 was a really good effort. This week against the Cats, hopefully he bounces back on Thursday night. Angus Brayshaw, really pleased with that. I was either tossing up but going him or Cripps to Rocky. I ended up going Cripps, obviously. So I think Brayshaw is going to be... He'll be a top 8 midfielder, I think. Rockcliffe, the Pig, 115. Look, I'll take it. He's my second highest scoring midfielder there. He did what I wanted him to do. So if he keeps going 115, he'll definitely be in the top few midfielders. And I got him at 650k. I don't think he'll be seeing that again. Brad Crouch, 109, and Libba, 106. These two are just looking like really great pickups. They're still quite cheap for what they're averaging, so it's not too late to jump on if you haven't got these two. Brad Crouch, pretty consistent, 109 both weeks. I'll take that every week. And then got Libba. Libba, I think, realistically, I think he's probably going to average 95. So he's a really good option, and I think Brad Crouch will probably even be a keeper now, but Libba, geez, the way he's going, he's going to end up 600 odd K, so he's got a lot more money to make yet still. Sam Walsh, 85. As I said last week, I think Walsh is a safe 80 to 90 every week, so I'll definitely be fielding him. Then next play here, Bailey Scott, 30. Now look, everyone's been complaining. Lots of people did it, alright? Pretty much most people either fielded both of them or fielded Bailey Scott. So Scott 30 and Constable on the bench 106. It happens. It's AFL fantasy. It happens. Like, I've learnt my lesson now. I'll be fielding Constable every week that I have the option to. So Bailey Scott, like, I don't think he's going to hold his spot. I'll talk about that later in the trade discussion, but yeah, he's very worrying signs for Bailey Scott. He looked disinterested. Well, not disinterested. He just looked lost out there. I didn't watch the match last week. I got sucked into the hype of fielding him. But he's a bit of a one-week wonder, Bailey Scott. And Constable is the real deal. I should have backed my gut and gone with the ready-made AFL player in Charlie Constable. Anyway, that happens. Tom Atkins on the bench. Pleased with that. Just like Bird, just keep that price ticking over. In the rucks, thankfully, my two big ruckmen bounced back. Grundy and Gawn. Both scoring is similar to what I think they're going to average this year. Grundy, Gawn there, it was grabbing it out of ruck. He was kicking it at every chance he could. He looked back. He had a lot of hit outs as well, 60 odd or something like that, ridiculous. Then so I was really pleased with those two. And then in the forward line, Paddy Dangerfield, 134. What more could you ask for? I think he's going to be a really good VC option to have this week, and then on Thursday, and then Dunkley with the 68. Really disappointing from Dunkley. Like, he was playing the Hawks. He had a really good role. Like, it wasn't brilliant, but it was a good enough role to score more than 68. Like, this bloke should be going at least 100 with the role he's got. So it's really concerning signs and worrying signs for him. I'll be looking to move him on this week, and I'll talk about that in my trades. Tim Kelly, 111. Really pleased with him. I think he's going to be a top 6 forward, along with James Warple, who is definitely a top 6, definitely could push to be a top 6 forward. Scored 97. Really pleased with that. I think he's the bloke that's going to be filling that Tom Mitchell void there. So nothing to complain about there. Will Setterfield, a little bit disappointing. Didn't really lose out on too many points with fielding him over Myers or Parker. But yeah, Setterfield, he's still got a bit more money to make, so he'll be one of the first rookies I look to move on though. Drew, 92, great role, just like Constable, playing full mid for his team. With Wines coming back, some people have been talking about that's going to affect him, but I don't think it'll affect him too much. Anyway, Myers and Parker on the bench, really pleased with those two. So really, I've nailed my rookies there. Like, there's not too many that I've missed out on, if any. So I'm happy with them. My primos, as I've said, Canelio, Crouch, Dunkley. Look, they're all unders of what I know they can do. But I'll be looking to move Dunkley. He's had his chance now. He's as good as gone for me. But overall, hopefully, I can bounce back from a bit of a poor week. I'll still take 2,169. Like, it wasn't that terrible, but yeah, hopefully next week's a better one. Alright, just off the top of my head, it's a Monday night. I said this last week, so my trades, obviously, last week, I did end up doing the Crips to Rocky, and then I went Bolter up to Parker, but just be wary, I'm not 100% going to do these. Always teams, pending on the Thursday night, what I do. So, firstly, Josh Dunkley. Barring any Thursday night things in the teams, Dunkley will probably be traded out for me. I've got a couple options. I'm thinking about bringing in Travis Boak here, because I did have the cash. I had 100k in the bank, so I can easily get Travis Boak, and then I could fix up one of the rookies. I'm really worried about Bailey Scott. I don't think he's going to hold his spot. Brad Scott has talked about a couple of the North Melbourne players coming back in, Ahern and a couple other blokes, so I'm worried about Bailey Scott, so I might trade Bailey Scott, and maybe, I don't know, a rookie who's playing, or I could trade out Hoare and just fix up that if he's not named. But another option I have is getting this player, Jack Nunes. Break even of 46. He's averaging 96. I'm really liking his role at the moment. So I could get in Jack Nunes for Dunkley. Probably a similar scoring I'm expecting from these two. Nunes probably even higher. I am worried about Nunes having a bit of a harder draw coming up, and whereas Dunkley, I'm really liking his draw, but I think that's going to make me a fair bit of cash, and then it'll allow me to go Bailey Scott if he's not named, up to James Cousins. Now, James Cousins, really liking his role as well. I think it's similar to Warple. Warple's probably just ahead, but he's averaging 93, and at his price, that's really, really big steal. So I'm thinking this could possibly be the way to go with these two trades. It does mean, however, I won't be fielding Constable, which I probably would have liked to. So, yeah, those are my trades at the moment. Leave a comment down below what do you think of them, and also leave a comment down below what your trades are currently. Alright, let's get into some questions now. So the first question comes in from Louis again. He says, Dunkley and Heaney to Boak and Warple. Viable if no fix-ups, re-rookies need to be done. Now, I don't mind these trades actually. Like Dunkley and Heaney. Heaney is very concerning, just like Dunkley. I don't really see him being top 6 forwards again. Whereas Boak and Warple I actually do see being top 6 forwards. So, bit of a premium shuffle, but I do think that is very viable option if you have no rookies to fix. So, yes, that gets the tick from me. Next one from Matt is Mel. He says, with Wines coming back, does that put a line through Boak? And if not Boak, who? Wines coming back, I don't think really going to directly affect anyone. I think as a whole, I think Drew, Rockcliffe, and Boak maybe drop 5 to 10 points, but I don't think it'll really affect anyone because Port's been playing quite well, so, and the midfield's been doing okay. So I don't think he's gonna really push anyone out, and it certainly wouldn't be Boak. So I think he's okay. Ethan says, is Tom Stewart, I think that is, an option for Hearn? I think both of them. I think Hearn might not have had a good week last week, but I think Hearn and I think Tom Stewart's a bit of a. He's been playing well, no doubt about it, but I don't really think he's going to keep it up for the whole season. He might prove me wrong, but I highly doubt it. It is a bit of a point of difference, but so is Hearn. So I reckon I'd stick with Hearn in that case because both of them, it's a bit of uncertainty, and I don't think either. I don't think using a trade on that. I think there's other players you could trade there. James says, is Travis Boak a good replacement for Heaney? Yep, 100%. Tick that. Mr. AFL Fantasy says M Crouch or Sloan. If I go M Crouch, I save 18k, but if I go Sloan, I save 93k. Though Sloan is more likely to get the tag. Now, with these two, personally, M Crouch all the way. So Sloan, I understand he probably has the highest ceiling, but there's going to come to a point in the season where he cannot stop tearing teams apart, and he will cop the tag like last year. And he will go back to having those stinker weeks, and you just can't have that. Like, I understand Cogs, let's say Brayshaw, and McRae, right? They might get tagged 3 times for the year. Sloan, I reckon half the games he's going to get tagged because he's just so susceptible to the tag, and teams know that now. So I think give him a few weeks and Sloan will be starting to get tagged again. So definitely M Crouch, a safer option. If you have the money to do it, then do it. Jake says, Tim Kelly or Boak, TK is better for the buyers. Line ball with these two, I think they're going to average similar. So if Kelly does suit your buy structure better, then definitely grab Kelly. Next question here from Matthew. He says, Witt and field setters or Boak and field scrim? Now, this is an interesting one. I think Whitfield 105 and setters 60, and then Boak 100 and scrim 60. So I think probably the Whitfield and setters. I do like that more. I think setters and scrim probably around the same. Setterfield, I'm a bit more confident with fielding actually out of the two there. So I think Whitfield and Boak, a bit of a line ball with those two as well. I think both of them will be must-haves later in the year, but if it does allow you to field Setterfield over Scrimshaw, I think Whitfield and Setterfield would be the better option there, Matthew. Gorn Girl says, I'm pretty happy with all my rooks at the moment. The main player I missed out on is Warple. What do you think of going Cripper to O'Meara? Assuming Cripps will get tagged by Hewitt this week and Jager O'Meara seems to be great value. And then go Elliott to Warple. Cheers. This is an interesting one. I think Cripps to O'Meara, I don't really see the massive upside with that. I know O'Meara has been playing really well. He's one of the guys that's benefited from the Tom Mitchell thing. But look, Cripper might get tagged this week, but I think you've got to see what you think these two are going to average for the whole year. So Cripps probably a 110 and O'Meara I think a 105. So it's a 5-point decrease, but then you've got Elliott to Warple. It allows you to get Elliott to Warple. Elliott's probably a 70, 75 if it maybe, and then Warple will probably be a 90, 95 I think. So I would tick those trades, but just be careful with the Cripps to O'Meara because it could backfire. I think I did Cripps to Rockcliffe last week, and I think Rockcliffe, because that made me a lot of money, whereas O'Meara is not going to make you as much. So if you've missed, I do like the players like Sheed, Rocky, Taranto, Brad Crouch, Liberatore. If you don't have any of them, then if you have all of them, sorry, then I would, yeah, O'Meara is a good option, but I just think there's more value guys around his price, or if not a bit lower than him. But if it does allow you to go Elliott to Warple and there's nothing else you can do, then yeah, that's a good move. Next one, Slabber Name. He says, how early to move on B. Smith and Williams in the back line, doing their jobs at the moment, which is pleasing. This is a very, very good question, a very interesting topic, because Smith and Williams, they both are doing what we want, but it's just, we've got no one really in our team that we can get up to those premium players that we need. So I think if you have the cash to get, I'd probably be moving Williams on before Brodie Smith. I think Brodie Smith's looking a bit more reliable, but Williams, I think if you really have the cash, but you'd have to be using another trade to get him up to a premium. So if you're releasing a cash cow that's still going to make a lot of money, I think maybe just wait until their break even starts to get close to their average. But for the moment, I think maybe 2 to 4 weeks would be the nice. That'd be when you could start doing those sort of moves. But I have seen people do it, and it's not too bad if you're getting rid of rookies that are not going to make tons of cash, so you can get him up. But however, having said that, if you missed out on a Dersma, Clark, or Scrimshaw, I think it is okay to downgrade one of them because you'll still be playing them on the field, and I think they're okay. But just wait a couple of weeks to go up. Next question, Goonbag Fantasies. Is it worth it to go Scott to Libba or Atkins? Wait, is it worth to go Scott to Libba or Atkins to Cousins with the cash I've generated going Dunks to Warple? Yes, it is, because so if you can go Scott to Libba, say you'll be playing Scott or Atkins, I think they'll be on your field then. That means so. I think probably the Scott to Libba one would be better. I think Libba's a must-have, really. He's, as I've said, he's going to average 95. So at his price, he's still got a lot of value in him. So I think Scott to Libba would be a good trade. I understand that Scott's break-even's still pretty low, but his 30 was same as cycle for a couple of weeks. So if he scores another 30 next week, that's pretty much it for his cash generation. Yeah, there. So that's all for the questions. If you want to send me a question for next week, I'll send out a tweet around 4 o'clock, and then I'll obviously record this video about 3 or 4 hours later. So make sure you're following my Twitter. It's just there on the screen. Make sure you're following that. And next week, make sure to reply if you have any questions. Alright, that's it for today's video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe, because I'll be doing one of these videos every single Monday. So thanks for watching. like the video, and good luck for round 3. I'll see you in the next one.